back to another edition of BingeWorthy. And for today, we're going over Titans season 1, just season 1 in Titans. As y'all know, Titans is based on the Teen Titans universe, but they're kind of grown up right now. DC Comics, this DC universe, DC TV has decided to give us a more adult version of Titans. I know a lot of y'all probably are familiar with Teen Titans Go, but this is a whole different take on Teen Titans. I'm going to pass to my other lovely hosts. Let me introduce them. We have Syntell.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome. Let's get this Titan loving.
Yeah. We have Cortney.
Hello. Hi out there. How we doing?
And we have Randy.
What's going on, world?
Okay, Teen Titans season 1. We're quite familiar with how Teen Titans are and what they are. A group of sidekicks sit together and they just start kicking ass in the DC universe. But this is no longer Teen Titans. These are the Titans. They're more mature. They're older. They're not just teenagers anymore. There's no angst in them. What do you all think of Teen Titans Go? Just the initial thoughts of Teen Titans versus the Titans. What are your take on Teen Titans? What do you know about it? We'll start with Johnny Randolph. What's up?
Well, for Titans, it's definitely not for teenagers. This shit is violent. And all the tropes that you knew about the other DC universe, it throws them all out the window, because in this, there's fighting, graphic violence, sex, profanity, all of those heightened things. If it were a movie, it'd definitely be rated R. So Titans, it's action packed though. It's fun, it's engaging, but it's serious. It takes the kind of DC comic book trope to a level that's serious. It almost reminded me of Watchmen. It had a Watchmen feel, gritty, grainy, tough to me.
What do you think, Courtney? What are your take between Teen Titans and Titans?
Well, Teen Titans, the cartoon, it has violence. I mean, I'm not violence, but it has fighting. Like it's what we know about them. They're usually fighting a bad guy. So that element is still the same.
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go is like all comedy. It's just the funny aspect of it. But this one, it's definitely the DC universe's opportunity to really take what we know about these characters and age them up and put them in the real world, so invest them in the story that is Gotham City, that is, things that we know about certain characters. And what I love about this series is that it takes what we know of the character of Robin or Dick Grayson, and it expands on how he ultimately makes his transition to like the next phase of what we know of where he's going. And in season 1, it's almost like an origin story for Dick Grayson. But at the same time, we get to learn about, we meet Raven. And a lot of people, I know that they watch Teen Titans, obviously, and they know about Raven, but this is an opportunity to really get to see her origin story and not just throw us into the story of, everybody knows about her father and what Raven went through. So this is for us to see live and in person how she deals with what's happening with her father, as well as, other characters, or it's just expanded. So, I'll get more into it, but I really love this world. I don't necessarily think that teens can't watch it, because if they're watching 13 Reasons Why and other things like that are happening within their life, I think that it's not even like, like sex scenes that are explicit. It's not that. It's really just language and violence. So I think that they probably are watching it.
Yeah. What's up, Syntell? What's going on? Tell me what your thoughts of it are. Teen Titans versus Titans.
Well, it's interesting because there's been like this weird progression that's been going on with the Titans franchise. When it came to the comic book, Titans was one of those things that nobody really talked about. Like diehards would read it, but unless you were like in that group, that very niche group of people, you really just didn't pay that much attention to it. Because Robin was the leader, and at that time, before you had some real context of Robin and the different variations of him, he was just Batman's sidekick. So it didn't really get like a lot of groundswell. And then the animated series came out, and the same thing kind of happened to the point that they canceled the show. But then DC, the properties of DC, did something that nobody saw coming, and they were like, "Well, you know what? Since nobody's really paying attention and nobody cares, let's have an experiment." And they did Teen Titans Go, which was a hit, an absolute flat out hit. It's one of my favorite all time cartoons on Cartoon Network ever made. I mean, it really is that good. So they ended up getting this gigantic, massive fan base, and especially with little bitty kids. And then once they got that fan base, they were like, you know what? Let's try to put a new coat of paint on this and put some new tires on it. And let's go back to talking about the real story, the story that you really want to hear. And it works. And what they did to make it even better is that they geared it towards an audience who may have grown up with the Titan franchise when it was still a comic, who are now adults. So they're seeing the world completely different. They're more adults. And you're dealing with adult themes from these characters, and you get an opportunity to really see some dopeness, especially out of somebody like Robin, who's comical in Teen Titans Go, who's kind of like a meh in the comic book, and somebody nobody gave really a damn about in the first animated series. But in this one, he has gravity, he has weight, and you care.
Yeah. So, I'm glad we opened up talking about what we do here in BingeWorthy. BingeWorthy is a podcast where we actually binge a whole entire season in 1 week and tell you if it's worth watching. We actually examine characters and episodes and scenes and even acting and writing and the action in the actual TV show. And we let you know before you decide to binge it, we binged it. And we'll talk to you about what it's like binging the show and talk about the show itself. So season 1, we open up Titans and we meet Dick Grayson, who is also known as Robin. Did any of you all thought Robin was the original Robin? Yes, the original Robin in the show. Did anybody think it was kind of odd that Robin was older and didn't quite like being Robin? Was there issue with y'all with that? Where Teen Titans, he's always trying to impress Batman. In this one, he was like, F Batman, I'm going to be my own man. I'm going to be Detective Dick Grayson in Traverse City. But what were y'all thoughts on that?
I thought he was still being influenced by Batman, though. Like Batman was still in his mind, and everything he was doing was trying to get away from Batman, but it didn't impact him. And it didn't turn him into a person that he didn't even recognize himself or who he really was. And the way he was expressing that was really acting out extremely violent. Like, I think he killed a couple people even in the first scene. And every time he had an interaction with somebody, he was making sure to beat them to a pulp. And he didn't know who he was. So those were the things that I took away, that Batman still was kind of manipulating him mentally or had real estate in his mind.
Yeah.
Courtney, I'll jump in real quick. About that? Or Trey, no, please, Court.
I think it's interesting that Randy, that you said that like Batman was like quote unquote manipulating him. And I think that it's an interesting take of what's going on with him, because in my opinion, like, I don't disagree with you. I think there is a level of like, it's almost like Stockholm syndrome. It's like, this is the world that I have created. This is, what I think that we as a team need to do and how we need to be. And you're going to become, it's like a father and son. It's like a father who owns a family business. And it's like, you're going to take over the family business and you have to do things exactly my way, and this to me is really kind of like what every young person goes through in that kind of situation, is that like, I need to become my own thing. And I don't know who I am, without you. And it's almost like they're this symbiotic kind of relationship. And Robin needed to break away in order to discover, who am I? Because I'm doing things your way. I'm doing things the way you told me, the way you taught me. And this is the only life that I know. And so he really tried to run away. He went to Detroit, became a cop to try and, as he even said, like, I wanted to leave Robin behind, but he didn't know how to do that because it's familiar. You know what I mean?
Are we going to say Batman is an abusive stepfather?
I wouldn't say he's necessarily abusive. I would say that putting him in that lifestyle as a young kid, this kid who just lost his parents, it's something that, it's like what Batman it's what Batman needed when he lost his parents. And so he raised him the way he was raised, similar to the way that like the father in Lovecraft Country, like raised his son. He raised him in violence. And so therefore he raised Bruce Wayne raised Robin to understand violence or use it in order to like quote unquote do good. So and I really think that this is it's what everybody around his age, like around 25, is trying to figure out. What do I want to be, and what is the kind of man or woman that I want to be? Who am I?
Yep.
So I really like where his trajectory is. Obviously, we know where he's going, but in Teen Titans, he wasn't Robin. He was already Nightwing. So we had already in Teen Titans, there is a Robin, in the later Teen Titans, there is a Robin, but it's like Damian. So Nightwing is already established in Teen Titans. This is us seeing how he becomes Nightwing. And that's what I love about this.
Unless you're talking about Teen Titan Go and he's Robin and he's the butt of all the jokes.
Yes, Teen Titans Go. Yeah.
Teen Titans Go, he's the butt of all the jokes.
Yeah.
Syntell, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Dick Grayson, aka Robin?
Well, if we're talking strictly about like the very first time we're introduced to him, I thought it was a pretty brilliant way that they went about it. Because before the show even starts out, you're left, like I said earlier, with all these old past ideas of what the show is going to be. And it opens up with Dick Grayson about to, give folks this work. And what I thought was interesting was that before the fight scene started, the only thing that they care about is where's Batman. Like they see Dick, and then they immediately start looking up towards the rafters, and they're like, well, where's Batman? Where's Batman? And then they realize that Batman's not coming. And then it's like,
we got the sidekick, we got punk ass Robin.
We about to beat the brakes off this dude. And he flips the script. You see violence from this Robin character that you've never seen before, ever.
Yeah.
At least live action. And it really sets you back. It's startling and alarming. And I don't know if he killed somebody, but I'm willing to bet somebody may have died.
Did. I mean, with the R,
he killed him. Yeah,
with the R, like that's what I love. Yeah. He took the R, made the R a weapon, like a Chinese star, or like a throwing star, and it in the dude's eyeball, like straight to the brain. Yeah. So that was phenomenal. It was awful, but I was like, oh,
yeah.
Wait,
and I don't think I don't think we were expecting. We're expecting maybe he beat him and they run away, or he leave him for the cops to come pick him up.
Yeah.
Like, nah, he made sure they were like either injured or dead. Right? It was.
They're not running from no cops.
Yeah,
they'd be happy the cops come and get them.
Right, they would be happy to see the cops.
They want the cops to come and get Robin. Like, please come and get Robin.
I did love that moment, like you said, Syntell, about how they're all looking for Batman, because it's like you got Robin. It's got to be.
Where's the badass that actually beats the brakes off?
And then the thing, like the cherry on top on all of it, is that after he gets done handing everybody their ass viciously and violently, he pauses and he says, "Fuck Batman," and that is your first introduction to Dick Grayson.
And that I was like, I was awed and just I was like,
yeah. It lets you know what you're jumping into. Definitely. It's like, this is what we're jumping. This is the world we're jumping into. This ain't Teen Titans no more. So this is a whole different world. Yeah. So let's move beyond Dick Grayson. Let's talk about the other characters, right? We got Tegan Craw playing Rachel Roth. We got Anna Diop playing Corey Anders. And what do we think about those two? Because Corey Anders is Starfire. And when she hops on the scene, she doesn't have her memory at all. And let's talk about what stands out the most of this Starfire. She's no longer orange. She's black,
which is beautiful.
Right. And I thought it was incredible. I thought it was a fantastic casting choice, because the character is brown skin or orange, like she is a tan color character. So in theory, as an alien, she could be represented by any color. So for them to cast that way, I was I was just clapping. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I love this. And she's this vibrant red hair, and she still has on the green necklace and the iridescent like purple outfit. So she really was Coriander's. She was Coriander that we knew. She just didn't have her memory, and which I thought was a brilliant take, because she's going along the way trying to learn who she is. So everybody is in an origin moment. Yes. Literally everybody.
Yes. They made her sexy too. They made her sexy.
And she's a total badass.
Sexy. And she, like, I loved her moment, when she was finally meeting the guy who she had been working, who had fallen in love with her. And she was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not how I felt. Like, I mean, it was just so, like, she didn't even know she had abilities, but she knew that she did not care at that moment. And when she popped off and the fire came out, it was a brilliant way that they illustrated that. And she was just so much fun.
Yeah. And I like that she wasn't scared to lay hands on anybody, right? So she lays hands on the abusive guy who was at the restaurant. That's when we first see her kind of like kick somebody's ass. And then we haven't talked about her, but was it Donna? What's her name? Donna Wonder Woman. She was like, she says, I'm the one who laid you out. Granger. She's like, you want to try that again?
Yes.
So
yes, Don Granger. Yeah. She didn't remember that being laid out. Remember, she came to and was like, what happened?
Yeah.
But she's like, oh, I'm me again. You want to try that again?
Like, yeah, like let's do it again. So like every scene, she was like anybody could get it. And she was fun and she was vivacious. And she had a sensitivity. Because she genuinely
correct me, Donna Troy. Donna Troy.
She genuinely loved Rachel. Like she genuinely loved her.
She developed a relationship with her.
So
like because she didn't have her memory. Because we saw that scene where she had all this research about Rachel, but she didn't know who she was as a person. Here's this woman who knows all these crazy languages, who doesn't know anything about herself, but she still has the capacity to connect.
She has the capacity for love. She has the capacity to protect. She has the capacity for violence. Like she's a very complicated and layered person.
She doesn't know she's
sexy and funny, friendly. So it was.
Yeah. Let's since we brought up Rachel, let's talk about Rachel Roth, aka Raven. What do y'all think of Raven?
Didn't say anything about.
Oh, yeah, Syntell, what you got, Syntell? What you got? What you got for us? What you got for Corey?
Nothing. I mean, I agree with y'all 110%. I didn't really know who the actress was before this show, and I immediately crushed on her immediately. She is. And I know I'm not supposed to talk about the superficial about her being a beautiful woman, but she is a very beautiful woman. Like she's like you see her and she just commands. She commands your attention on the screen.
Yeah. That's hard to do, especially in that well-known character. So you're right.
Exactly. Yeah. And the way she carries herself, she's just bursting at the seams with confidence. I mean, and swagger.
She owned it. She owned the role and made it her own.
Yeah. The moment you see her, you like,
it's black girl magic.
Yeah.
Literally black girl magic.
Purple dress, the hair, everything.
I cosplayed her at Comic-Con. My best friend and I, we cosplayed Starfire and Raven.
Yep. Well, since you brought up Raven, let's talk about Raven. Young Raven.
We made it to the DC Universe Twitter page. I was like,
Nice. Like I said, let's talk about Raven. Let's talk about this young girl who realizes she doesn't know who she is. She has this mom that loves her, but is scared of her at the same time. There's crosses all over the house. Everything's messed up, but she wants to love on this girl and let her know everything is okay. And here she is. She gets angry and things happen and she can't control it. Is that just teenage angst? Like, I want to love you, Mom.
Oh, no, she had locks on the door.
Like, shut up, bitch. I'll kill you.
She had locked on the door from the outside.
Mom was straight scared shitless of her. Yeah.
And she locked 19 door locks. I was like, oh.
Yeah, Mom was scared shitless of her. Like, this girl is crazy.
Yes.
You know what? I think I might be in the minority on this. And that is, I expected more from the character, because if you're going to be the offspring of Trigon and this overall beast of evil, I was expecting her to be terrifying. I wanted terrifying to go along with the angst, and there was no point where she was terrifying to me. And once I saw the choices that they took with Dick Grayson and then some of the course choices they took with Corey. I was expecting like something that kind of like really vibrant and bold, and she's just not a bold character for me, for my taste. I didn't hate her, but I just wanted more because I wanted to be scared of her, and she's just not scary.
What I thought she was kind of terrifying. I thought she was trying to hold it in. Like she was this child with angst and she was trying to hold it and not share it with the world. She didn't unleash it. Like when it was her and Gar and they're at the kitchen table and she told him he had to leave. And when she snapped at him, he was like, whoa, what do I do next? When Trigon reached out of her, that demon inside of her reached out to him.
Yeah, but did anybody respond to her in absolute terror?
No,
absolute. And that's what I need from Raven. I need that kind of response from the people around her.
Isn't she kind of trying to find herself? Kind of. I mean, almost the Dick Grayson thing. So it's like she's searching for herself. She doesn't know if she's evil. She doesn't know if she's good. She doesn't know anything. So I don't know. I don't know if I needed her to be terrifying.
Well, I think that she's also suppressing her abilities. Like actively suppressing.
Yeah.
Because here's someone who has been raised to essentially think that you're the devil, you know, that has crosses, because there was that moment in the hotel room and it was just her and Dick. And she was so afraid of herself that she literally put little pieces of paper with drawn crosses all around her bathtub because that's what she thought was going to protect her from whatever was inside of her. This is someone who's still looking to him as if you're not going to protect me from me. You know, she had him turn the mirror around because she didn't want to look at it, you know? So it's just, she's actively trying to not have abilities. So I think that's why you didn't get terrifying, because someone who's actively trying to avoid this like darkness, you know what I mean? Like her face, like I love that they tried to change. She reminded me of The Witcher, you know, like when I watched
she was terrified.
She was terrified.
Like Diamond Mine said it best. He was like in our chat, he was like, she doesn't know her limits. And she's terrified of that. Like, oh my God, I don't know how far this can go.
Yeah. And she was just, I was just gonna say that Corey and Dick were moved in the parking lot of the arcade or the bowling alley, like when she shattered all the glass of all the cars in the parking lot, they definitely shook. You know what I mean? It shook them. But
see, and I do agree with everything that you all are saying to be a truth of her character, that she's yet to really unveil her true potential. But the thing about Hollywood and the thing about cinema is, if you want me to believe that, then you need to give me a sample, something. Anything to be like, oh, okay, I can see what could be, but there's none of that. It's just all middle of the field, kind of scared.
They should have been shocked or scared.
If you're the daughter of somebody that's supposed to be the incarnation of the devil, I need to see that, and it just didn't happen. So maybe it's not a testament to the writing, or maybe it's not even a testament to the acting. Maybe it's a testament to the directing, but it was missing.
Yeah, they could have done more than that. They could have made it when she did that.
I agree.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I agree.
But she does switch up real quick. Like she's a weirdo. When she goes into the Doom Patrol, it's like she falls in love. It's like these are weird people, outcasts, just like me. And she kind of really fell into that family environment really quickly to me.
That episode for me, I mean, I get that it was a pilot for Doom Patrol, but
I actually love that scene.
I loved it too. I loved it too.
I love them. I love the guy he was cooking, and she came in and she's eating fried chicken and everything.
I think Matt Bomer's voice.
Yeah. But even before we got to Doom Patrol, we met Hawk and Dawn. These are people we've never seen in the Teen Titans. They don't come up that often. They're not even seen in the Titans that often. But they gave us Hawk and Dawn, and when we first meet them, they're pretty dope too. Like they come out.
He's dope. He's irritating.
Well, you know.
And that episode with them and their background, that was a whole throwaway for me. I was like, I did not need to hear the origin story of Don.
Well, he let you know that
I kind of like the origin story. It's just he whines. He whines too doggone much.
I was like,
stop being jealous of Dick. Like, you understand?
Well,
I mean, you a second choice. Let's be honest.
He was second choice, and that's why he's jealous. Because when Dick Grayson first walked in and Don opened the door, she was like, I'm going to fuck him just as soon as I get
Rachel
a chance.
picked that out. Rachel picked that out, and she was like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's Batman Jr.
Like,
though, and Hawk
plus he's
always wanted to
hot.
be Batman.
I'm sorry,
though.
I really like the kid that's playing Dick Grayson. He's
Yeah.
real cute. You know,
Yeah,
even the lady
so-
in the hotel room. Even the lady in the hotel room, she knows she's too old for that man. She was like,
So-
Yeah,
like,
Raven
"Can I
looks she's about to
bring
give it to
some,
Dick.
wine?" Yeah,
She's like, I'm gonna
honey,
take
you done already
that dick
had
away
some.
from Dick.
Yeah, so I see why
done
Hawk
already
didn't
had
want
some. You
Dick
like-
Grayson around at all, right?
Yes, I
could see
totally
why.
understood Hawk. And
I can
Hawk
see
knew.
why. Yeah.
Hank knew
He
who
knew.
Dick Grayson was.
Yeah, he knew. And she had that look on her face, was like, anywhere, anytime you come back,
And
you can get it. And
Let-
Hawk knew it too. And he was
Mhm.
like, man, get this motherfucker up out of here.
yes, yes. He was so that. But also, we have to take into consideration too that Hawk and Dove, his brother, were the original versions of them. Like he was
Yeah.
trying to be the original
was a
versions
ballerina.
of Batman
Yeah.
and Robin, because he was like, Batman and Robin,
Robin.
look out, Hawk and Dove are here. So he knew he was a
That's
consolation
a very good
prize
point.
to
Oh,
Batman
that
and
is.
Robin.
I didn't even really think about that. That's so
yeah,
true.
he knew they were trying to aspire to be Batman.
Low
and Robin.
budget.
Yeah, they were.
They were
Yeah, they're
really
the budget
great.
version.
They're really great. You know, I think they bring an addition to the team that is necessary. Like there's a very maternal edge to Dove. I can't think, what's her character's name, her actual name? I can't think of it. I know it's
Dawn,
Minka Kelly is
Dawn.
the actress, but
Dawn,
Dawn,
I thought was
right?
Yeah,
something.
Don and Hank.
And I think that there's a loving aspect to her that is needed. There's a warmth
Mhm.
that she brings. Donna Troy has a little bit of it, but there's still an edge because she is from Themyscira and she is like, you know, Wonder Woman's little sister. So there is an edge to her. You know,
Thank
there's
God they
definitely
kept that
connection
too.
and familiarity, but she's like that warrior mom, that tough love mom. Like, you better get out there and fight. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about the
like,
women in this series. All the women in the series got big dick energy. They do. All the women in the
Yeah, I
series
mean,
got big dick energy.
they
Am I
bring
right?
it. They
Well, they're-
come swinging.
Yeah, I mean,
They
they're
come
super-
swinging.
I mean, everybody
they're-
but
they're
Raven. to
female
me. Everybody but
superheroes.
Raven.
Well, everybody but
Raven
Raven.
hasn't
Raven's a
discovered her
child,
big
though.
dick
She's
energy.
the youngest of everybody.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I would
Yeah.
say she's probably like 13. When like Gar is probably like what, 15?
Yeah,
15, maybe
yeah,
16.
yeah.
So they're the two youngest outside of like Jason Todd,
Hey,
who's probably also
yeah.
16.
Hey Trey, her balls just haven't dropped yet.
No. I mean, and we've seen season 2,
Well, she
and
doesn't have
I'm
the
speaking on the perspective of
Doesn't have
just
her
season
brother or
1.
her father. She doesn't have
yeah.
she hasn't got that yet. So
Yeah, she hasn't
Yeah.
got that yet. Yeah.
that's the fight.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
no,
Yeah.
no, but let me be clear. I enjoy the character and the actress that's playing the character. I think it's being portrayed very well. It just didn't meet my expectations, is all I'm
Okay.
saying. But I did,
So
I did
from a
like her.
writing perspective, you mean?
Yeah.
like-
Yeah,
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted more because all the other characters gave me more. And, well,
they did. That
Well,
they
maybe not
did
Beast
do.
Boy. Beast Boy was a little, but
Yeah, because
Everybody
can
else.
Beast Boy in the cartoon transform into more than just
He can transform
he's
to
like
anything,
a monkey.
any
Like he can do
beast. Yeah,
anything.
No, he doesn't know
Any
that yet. He doesn't know.
yeah, he
that
doesn't
yet.
know that.
And he
Yeah,
mentions
doesn't know
that
yet.
they said, "Why do
He's
you
still
do it?" He's like, "I just like tigers. They've always been my favorite animals." And so
Yeah,
he,
just
he
doesn't
hasn't
know it
really
yet.
grasped the full nature of his powers yet.
Let's
Right.
talk about Beast Boy now because
We are going to talk.
made a comment to you guys, and I said, you
mhm.
know, Beast Boy, we see his origin. He's in the Congo. I'm concerned. I feel like this really should. Why was this not a little African boy? I'm just saying, he's green. He's green. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that they were like, you gave us Corey. We gave you Corey. Corey's black. But why he in the Congo? Well, how
Hey,
did he get
maybe
there? He
maybe
on a
he's
missionary
Hispanic
trip?
family.
Like, what's happening?
I assumed that he was there with his parents, right? They're there because, and I just thought it was like some kind of science
Mission.
expedition,
Yeah,
some mission
mission, yeah.
thing, and then maybe he was on. That's the only way that I could.
Do
wrap.
we know the
like,
but I feel
ethnicity
you
of
on that,
Beast
though.
Boy though too? Because
He's
it's
an
kind of
alien,
ambiguous.
isn't he? Isn't he an alien in the
No,
cartoon?
no, I think he's a
No.
human, right?
Is he?
Yeah, I thought he was a human in the
Or
cartoon.
at least he
as well.
once
Oh, okay.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but I
Yeah.
feel
I'm
you.
just
I
wondering.
feel
I
you.
just don't know why they
We'll
put him in the
explore the
Congo.
creation of Beast
In, like,
Boy
the
and Doom Patrol
rainforest
when
or
we do
something
Doom
like
Patrol.
that. You know what I mean? Or like Brazil, something. I mean, somewhere to explain. You know.
Oh, Diamond Mine came in the chat, you guys, and he says because he was a child of the missionary. So he was a child of
Okay.
the missionary. So
Okay.
that's what Beast Boy was doing
All right.
there.
That's what I asked y'all. I
Okay.
was like, thanks,
Yeah.
thanks, Diamond
Yeah.
Mine.
Appreciate that, Diamond Mine.
Yeah, Diamond Mine came in the chat and was like, "Yo, he's a child of the missionary." Calm
Okay, I
down,
respect
guys.
that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
There was one aspect of Beast Boy that I really thought was kind of insightful, and that they haven't said that he's a vegetarian in the show, even though we know it on the TV show. I mean, in the cartoon, but
Yeah.
but there was
In
something
the
else that
cartoon, he
was
is.
he's
Yeah.
the vegetarian.
Yeah, he's a vegetarian.
But there was something that I thought was interesting, and that was the fact that he's told over and over again. He's like, well, I've never really bitten anybody. He's like, he's becoming this animal, but he's never like given into his animalistic side.
Yeah.
And then you find out later, he's like, well, I don't fully control that animalistic side. It's kind of like I'm sharing it. And then for him to like fully attack this person, and then he changes back, and then he's still got that person's blood in his mouth, and you see him like trying to constantly like get it out. And that was probably, I think, my best and favorite moment of Beast Boy, of him like really coming to grips with the type of power that he has, and what it entails, and how violent he can be. Because up until then, he was just a kitten playing tiger until he really had to be a motherfucking tiger.
Be a tiger. Yeah. And it haunts him. It haunts him.
Right.
I think
he
of
was
Beast
in
Boy, I
that,
just
in
think
that
of Teen Titans
cage,
Go.
like.
Yep.
Like I need a scene with him and Cyborg. I just think of Teen Titans Go. They're my boys. Beast
They
Boy
are, and Teen Titans Go.
They crack me up.
He doesn't have the personality to be.
He doesn't, because he's always like, "Hey, mama," when he's talking to Raven. He cracks me up, man. So I needed some of that kind of swagger from Beast Boy.
Beast Boy was tame.
That was the expectation that I had for him. Like I wanted him.
Yeah, I
he didn't have that kind of swagger.
He was just super sweet. He was just trying to be
right. I needed a little more. Like, hey, mama,
like,
every time you're talking to Raven.
Because we know Raven finds her way to Damien. He's not there, which
I need a little bit more swagger.
Let's talk to the creature in the room, the story. We got this first season. We know it's a setup season. We had the pilot. What do you all think about how the story moved in this? I know for me, the season one moved kind of slow. It was like, can we move faster? Can we move faster? Can I see some more kick-ass action on the scene? I'm watching the superhero show, and I'm like, why is there more fighting? I want more fighting.
Well, the crazy family, I thought they brought an element of fighting and villainry? Is that a word? Villainy. Yep. Okay, I like that one. That really was exciting. Like these people were nuts. Like they are. They've been created by this unknown organization and brainwashed into doing all these like crazy things. And the way that the kids were working with whatever serum they were given, they were like, me next. I mean, heads turning back around, arms popping back in socket, and they just giving licks like it's nothing. So the fight scene in the hotel room was really good for me.
When they first came up on the roof, they were like, yo, we here.
And Hank was like,
we here to take you, Raven.
Done. Did he even get a punch in? Like, they just broke him.
Yeah. They threw Dove right off the roof.
5 stories.
Yeah. I was disappointed. I expected them to put up a better fight. Like, than they did.
Mother and father.
But
first
Starfire lit their ass on fire. She lit the husband's ass on fire.
She thought nothing of it neither.
Right, with very few questions asked. Like, okay, you look like you. And then she takes Raven and is like, you're probably better off with me than you are with them. And she doesn't even know who those people are. Like, I thought that was cool.
I did too, because it was almost like the Terminator moment where you want to live, and she's like, okay.
And it's amazing that she could make those distinctions between like friend to foe, like off top. She didn't attack Robin. She didn't really attack Dick Grayson. Right.
The first thing Corey said to Raven was, "Do you know me?" So if somebody's asking you, "Do you know me?" You like, no. Right. And she was like, "Dang," she literally was like, "Dang, I was hoping you knew," because I don't know. Then I'll be like, "Oh, she don't even know who she is. I'm gonna go with her."
Right.
She don't want me.
Right.
My initial problem with the story in season 1, and this is coming from the standpoint of not seeing season 2 or anything else. When I got done with season 1, I'm like, so why do I give a damn about Devin Hawk again? Like, how does that tie anywhere to any part of the story in season 1? I'm like, I invested all this time in getting to know him being assaulted by his coach and all this other stuff, and then they just end the season the way it does. I'm like,
well, because they weren't even part of it's like, why wake her up? Why go, put her in a coma for like 3 episodes or however many episodes it was, only to have Raven wake her up like, we got to go and help. Raven needs us. And
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't make it. Like, what happened?
True. I mean, we'll explore more of that, I think, in season 2. When we get to season 2, there's more discussion about what's going on and how this influences the world, right? Because right now I think they're just trying to build the Titans as like this super team. They're not Teen Titans, where there's like 4 or 5 of them. They're actually building out all the Titans. We're going to see a lot of characters, kind of like the what was it? The Teen Justice League they had, that cartoon
Young
they had
Justice.
a while.
Young
Young Justice. I think they combined those 2 ideas, Teen Titans and Young Justice, and said, what can we get out of this? I think we're going to see a lot more characters introduced. Like,
but in
I
terms
need
of
more
story
characters.
for
I need
me,
more. Yeah, I need a little more story to tighten up the story.
I think
we
this
got
story
enough
was to see if
characters.
people will feel for the characters, and they're like, oh, who do people hang on? I think the writers seemed like they were uncertain about who to go with as lead. We know Raven is a pinch point. Rachel's a pinch
exactly.
point. And everybody's here for Dick, but can we have people like other characters outside of them? Black
No
people
homo,
show up
right?
for
We
black
go
people.
I mean, everybody's
pause,
here
Chuck.
for Dick. But
Everybody's
wait, here's
here
the
for
thing.
Dick. Pause.
Here's my oh my God. Just say Dick Grayson. Everyone's here for Dick Grayson. Here's my problem with the story is that
no homo. That sounds like hip hop enough. So, I don't think in those terms.
But wait, so here's my problem with the story. You've built a story around Raven, but we don't know enough yet as to like, why are all these powerful people invested in this
little girl?
Like, why have all these people decided, I'm gonna jump on her train, I'm gonna protect her, because people are trying to kill her? Like, so it's just like, why no one really had a connection to her. Dick just met her, and outside of like him having a savior complex and him needing to see this girl who has been abandoned in the same way that he is, I thought Dawn,
Isn't that how Dick is though? Dick always trying to be a savior complex.
But Dawn called him out on it. She's like, like you're trying to help her, and in the same way that she is, like it's almost like you're helping yourself. He's taking care of the young boy.
He's trying to do something different that Batman
never
didn't
got
do for him.
from Batman, exactly. Yeah. But the story isn't necessarily strong enough. Like I would like more in depth, because yes, I love these characters individually. I think they did a great job with the character building. I love Corey. I love Dick Grayson. I even love Gar. Like, he's very charming. Love Donna Troy. I needed more Donna Troy. I was like,
she wasn't there. She wasn't really there for Raven though. She was really there for Dick.
I can't say that.
It's too easy. It's just too easy.
I mean, I named the boy Dick Grayson. DC named the boy Dick Grayson.
I'm just saying.
Richard. She was there for Richard, right? She was there for Richard, right?
Nah, the boy was introduced as Dick. I'm gonna call the boy Dick. Just
well, look, here's what I want to talk about that nobody is discussing, and my absolute favorite character in the whole thing, and nobody's mentioned him yet, and that's Jason motherfucking Todd. Say his name like it tastes like ass when you speak it, because he said straight up, listen, you the one that don't want to be Robin. I want to be Robin. Why? Because I get to kick ass with Batman. And if you don't know who the fuck you are, then you need to step off, because I'm about putting hands on people. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Nightwing, take your ass on. Nightwing. This
Robin
he did.
Work. Jason Todd came out of nowhere. He came with that purely with that Robin swag. Like, look, you want to be Batman's sidekick. I want to kick ass with Batman.
Thank you.
It's a different type of dance here.
Right. He's that moment, rough around the edges.
That moment when you really got to see what he's really about, when he was like, when you heard the people in the background, and he's like, hey, don't worry, I'm gonna go handle this. And then he goes and sees the police, and he beats every last one of their ass. And the last dude, he's like, oh, hold on. And he grabs him, he puts him in that backbreaker and completely finishes him off. And then Nightwing, or not Nightwing, but Dick comes in and he's like, yo, what are you doing? And he was like, you're not supposed to be doing this to cops. He was like, look, there's nobody around. Batman's not here, and we are dope as fuck. You better step on board and get on with this ass kicking that I'm handing out. I was like,
and it's so funny to hear Dick do that after that first opening scene where Dick went in hard and killed somebody by throwing a robin dart in her eye.
But
and
they
he
weren't
was like,
cops. It's probably they weren't cops. It's probably was his thing. I think he had a problem with him going
cops,
that far.
criminals. As a black man, I don't know the difference.
What do you
I'm
mean?
just going by that was the reason why he.
Jason Todd can roll. That's all I'm saying. That's my dude. He's the realest dude in the show.
So far.
Jason Todd for me, like he was so that whole scene when he meets Dick Grayson for the first time, like who is really his idol. It's almost like a relationship scene. You know what I mean? Like they're in the car, like, how long have you been with Batman? And he was like, a year. It was like two jilted lovers fighting about the same girl. And it was so entertaining. But at the same time, he had this like little brother syndrome of like, I need to see why you're so special. And then the more time he spends with him, you know, because here's Dick Grayson, who has been groomed, who was seeking all the knowledge that Batman had to give him, who ate it up. Like that quote, Syntell sent me the quote about like the Machiavelli quote, which was so powerful. And Jason Todd just looking at him was like, yeah, that dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and he has no idea and legit does not care. Again, I love he brings this hostility to him. That's just like this, just gritty, like edge, just like I could give a fuck.
Again, yeah, Batman is still in Dick Grayson's head. Like he's still jealous of Jason Todd. Like you all said, why are you choosing him? Like, was I not good enough, Batman? Did I not commit hard enough? Like he still has real estate in this guy's mind, no matter how he's saying he wants to get away.
Yeah,
and did you see his facial expression when they were going to the penthouse and Dick Grayson's eyes? It was like not accepted. Then Jason Todd was like, access accepted. And then he was like, I guess Batman's made some changes since the last time you were here. Yeah. Like Dick Grayson's face was like, oh my God.
You know what I mean? He couldn't even get
why did you do that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Daddy, why do you like him more?
Yeah.
Oh man, and even his backstory was even better. He was like, how did he find you? He was like, I was trying to steal the Batmobile's hubcaps.
Right? The hubcaps.
Yes.
Like, not even the whole car.
Yeah.
Like not even the whole car.
Just I love Jason Todd. He was a breath of fresh air. Yeah,
he came really hard. I mean, he's an interesting character. I mean, when I first saw him, I said, "Oh, there goes Gar. Gar's about to lose Raven to this cool ass Robin." It's just
because he walked up on him like, "I'm Jason Todd." She was like, "Oh,
yeah." He's like, "I'm Jason Todd. I'm the real Robin. That's the has-been Robin. That guy quit being Robin. His punk ass." He had Donna Troy and was chasing after Dove. He had Donna Troy on the roster, and he chose that girl.
And again, Hawk is so insecure, like he's mad, like he's a teenager. He's messing around, and Hawk like, I can't stand this little kid. I don't like Hawk at all. I don't like
we notice you don't like Hawk.
Insecure, man.
We know you don't like Hawk.
You're on mute.
Hawk is hard to like. He's the meathead. He's the meathead jock.
Yeah,
with a heart of gold, kind of, sort of.
I guess
I like the kid version of Hawk. The kid version of Hawk. That story of him standing up for his brother and taking that L. I thought that was well done. Yeah, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me justify his insecurity.
Okay. Yeah, I got
because you a man and you got to live with that, and that was a big sacrifice.
Yeah.
And you thought your brother didn't know.
That was a huge sacrifice. It actually endeared me to him a little bit more. Yeah. But then he became like the drug addict. That's the addict that is worried about Dick Grayson and like can't see that the woman has chosen you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fair point.
But
what's going on, Jen? We got Jen in the chat. What's going on? How you doing?
It's 11:44.
I'm looking at the chat, you guys. If anybody said anything good. I mean, but we're talking about Dick, Raven. Corey. Let's talk about Corey when she found her spaceship. Like found her memory back. She ran to the spaceship. She was like, "Yo, I'm. This is it. This is where I'm at."
And she knew about the prophecy and what she was supposed to do to Raven.
What she's supposed to do.
Right.
She went from loving Raven to like, I gotta kill her, but I don't want to kill her because and Raven recognized it. Raven's empathic. Because she was like, I felt like she was holding back. She really didn't want to do it. And that's still my boo. Corey's looked out for me. She saved me from the crazy white family.
Yeah.
But I was still happy that Corey was still like about killing her. Like it wasn't no pause, no hesitation. As soon as she got, it was like she went to search and destroy. And I thought that was kind of dope. That was a cool little moment.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it's really good. I like how Corey behaved, the interaction between all the women with each other, how they all recognized they had their own power. Like it
And they
wasn't
do.
like,
Like
oh,
They do,
we're
and
leaning
the
even
on
women are the
any of
most
men in
powerful
here.
in this
they really are, and they're
Yeah,
the
women are
most
most powerful.
interesting.
Yeah, because Kate, Starfire, Donna, like, yeah, they're the most powerful in this group. Absolutely.
The episode
Yeah.
with Donna Troy was kind of one of my favorites because it gave an insight into these two people who were the sidekicks, you know, Wonder Woman's
Yep.
little sister,
Right.
or you know, like, well, sidekick. And we get to
Yep.
see how close she and Dick Grayson were just because of everything that they went through and discovered, you know, about themselves together. And it was almost like this like that was his person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was his go-to. So I
Yeah.
was so
And who
glad
else
when
can
she
relate to
joined.
him?
And who
Right,
else
who else
can
can
relate
relate to
because
him?
she grew
Exactly.
up.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
grew up in a way with him.
Right.
Like there's nobody else that's gonna have that kind of, you know, understanding.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I really
Yes.
like, I love him and Corey, but I kind of really wanted him to be with Wonder Girl. I was like,
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I
And
really
during that
did.
scene, I love that Batman kicked Dick Grayson out of the Justice League meeting, and he had to go to his room, and Donna was there, so they were talking. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was funny too. I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is wild. This is weird." And it was like, "You kicking me out? What?" Like, go to
Right.
your room.
Go to your
And
room.
she was cool because she picks with him like a sister does. Like,
Right.
you still
Yeah.
that same
Right.
guy. You know
And
that
she calls
sucker
him
for
out
love.
about
You could.
Donna too.
Well,
She's
she
like,
does. She does know about Dawn.
yeah, and
She
she's like, you
does. She was
messed
like,
that
you
one
still
off.
can't
It's
get
like, you
her.
like women who are unavailable and badasses, but you messed that one with Don.
Yeah, you
up.
messed that up. You messed that up. Okay.
Yep.
Before we even go any further, for people to come into the chat and the audience, let you know we actually rate every season. So we binge a whole season, and we binge a whole show, or we binge a season, and we actually give it a rating. So our top rating, of course, is the binge out. Like we tell you, hey, watch this, binge it hard. Then we have like the full meal. Then we have the mini meal. Then we have the snack and the nibbler. And if it's really all the way bad, we just call it throw up. Just throw that shit up.
So that's official now. It's
That's
on the
unofficial.
list.
That's the zero. So I'm going to turn it right now to Syntell. And that Syntell, what do you give this? What do you give season 1 of Titans, knowing that we got season 2 coming next week?
If I'm going off of just season 1 by itself,
Just
not knowing
season
what I
1.
know about season 2, I got to give it a full meal because the story was a little all over the place. It left me like, wow, why do I care about, you know, Hank and Dove? I still didn't get completely satisfied when it came to Jason Todd. Like I said, Raven's story wasn't complete, so there was a lot of just incompletes for me to keep it from a full binge out. But I may have to mark it up maybe like a half a notch, just one step above it, simply because we got to see what Batman can do to a whole patrol of police at the final on the final episode, and you got to see why Robin is as dope as he is, because you need some kind of justification, right, as to why I should respect this man. And Batman put in work, and we never even saw his face, which made it even more dope. So that was just enough to be like, okay, I definitely need to see what's going on with season 2, because I think they're going to hint at me getting to see who Batman is, and then maybe I can get a better understanding who Jason Todd is and give more room to breathe for the rest of these characters. So a full meal is what I'd give it now.
Give it a full meal. Okay, we'll move over to Cortney Wright. What do you think, Cortney? What do you give this?
So when I heard that Titans was going to be, you know, a series, I was really excited. I even got like the DC universe, was like ready for it. And so for me, the pilot, it drew me in. It drew me in from the get-go. I'm a character person, so I can fall in love with characters. If you give me that connection, you invite me into your world, then I'm all in. So for me, this story, this show, I full on binged season 1. I absolutely didn't know that I did it the first time in like 2 days, and I did it in like 3 or 4 days, like the second time, just to like refresh everything. So I absolutely—
You double binge this?
I did, you know, because I watched it initially when it came out, like, you know, like 2 years ago. So I love the fact that it's a brand new take on what we know about Titans. And I love the dialogue. The dialogue between everybody is so juicy and just rich. It's just rich for me. So I wanted to know more. And in
It's a
terms
good
of like,
YA element.
yeah, in terms of like Raven's storyline, I think that was deliberate in terms of like, because they gave us a cliffhanger. This is a cliffhanger of like, you don't know what's going to happen. You got people on the outside, people on the inside, trapped in this like dream world, and you don't know what's coming. Is Raven going to choose? Obviously, we know, but is she going to choose our side, like what we know to be the side that is right, or is she going to go with her father? So I understand why they didn't complete Raven's storyline, but it was enough for me to be like ready and waiting for season 2 when it dropped.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely binged it. It's binge worthy for me.
Okay. Word. Got a full meal in the binge out. What do you give it, Randy?
I really enjoyed this series. This was my first time watching it. And Cortney, thank you. Cortney put in our group text is like, it's on HBO Max now. So I'm like, yes. So I went straight in for it. And I'm a big DC person. I love DC. I love Justice League.
I know you do.
I love Titans. I love all of it. And I thought it was really strong character driven. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed getting to meet these characters. I thought the action in it was appropriate. Chuck, you didn't think it was enough. I thought it was appropriate. I don't need action all the time. I like the way it was broken up, story, action. So that was sufficient for me. The only real trouble I have, I kind of agree with Syntell, it was the story. Why were all these people like really glued to Raven? I would have liked to see Trigon maybe a little bit earlier, seeing some dope things that he did and seeing the damage that he inflicts. So maybe that galvanizes our characters to understand, like, we want to stop this dude, like, because this is going to wreak havoc on Gotham, the world, everything. But that was the only little problem that I had with it. Character was good. Pacing I thought was good. So I'm going to give it a full meal just because the story was a little iffy to me, didn't galvanize everything, but I'm super excited for season 2. And I think they can correct that. And probably then I'll give it a binge worthy. But for right now, I'm a full meal. I'd even go back for seconds. I ain't quite binging it yet, but like it's really good. And I'm going to take seconds and get some dessert. That sounds like binge, but
so it sounds like a buffet.
It sounds like a buffet. Like you're going back a different second.
Yeah, so yeah.
You're going back with another plate. That's
just
what
that's just how I grew up.
That's what I put in the middle between
the second plate is not binging you all.
The second plate is not binging for me. Y'all gotta see my family at Thanksgiving. That's just normal. That's par for the course.
That is
two plates is par for the course, so I don't consider that binging. So I give it the first plate and the second plate. So that's a little bit more than a full meal, but I'm ready to give it a binge depending on how season 2.
Okay. Would I get this? I'm going to say a full meal right now. Like I said, I would have sacrificed Hank's and Dove's story for more fighting, more action. Because it's great to see the action and see how strong this team is. And they're not a team yet. Let's be serious. They're not even a team yet. They're not the Titans yet. They're just a bunch of people trying to save this little girl from herself and everybody else. They don't even know why they're saving her. Nobody knows about Trigon yet. Nobody really knows. All they know is this little girl has a little bit of demon in her, and they're trying to save this little girl's life.
A little bit of demon is kind of enough, though.
Yeah, it is.
In the world that like Robin comes from, like in the villains that he's known and what they're capable of with a little bit of darkness, and this girl got literal darkness coming out of her pores. Yeah, that's enough for me to be like, I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna look out for her.
Yeah, so that's what I give the show. I give it a full meal. So we got 3 full meals in the binge out for season 1 of Titans. Come in next week, we talk about season 2. I'm pretty sure our ideas are going to change after we watch season 2, because they did leave us on a bunch of cliffhangers. And they really didn't give us a lot of action. They just introduced a bunch of characters this time around. Our next stream for everybody watching. Thank you all for showing up.
Yeah, thank you everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
If you're listening here, our next stream is Destiny 2 tomorrow night. Saturday night, we got Pod Squadron, and we got Nerdtastic on Sunday. Like we said, this network is up and running. Tell all your friends, tell all your folks to jump in here and actually enjoy this network. And then we'll be back next Wednesday, talk about Titans season 2. and hopefully it goes into a binge out because apparently 2 plates is not a binge out.
2 plates ain't a binge out, man. That's standard Thanksgiving dinner, man.
And also, we're gonna raid Jen on her channel after this. So y'all get ready. Y'all run over to Jen Zanny's channel. We're gonna raid it, show her some love. She's part of the family. Let's watch her play some games, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
See you later. She's not live yet.
She's getting live right now. She's like, oh my God, they're gonna raid my channel right now. They're gonna all come over to my channel. I'm not live. I can get live right now.
Can they hear us? Because I'm seeing we're still showing on the channel.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes early. So
I know
Look at
it.
that. Hey,
that.
you're still there. I am really
we
excited
still
for season
alive.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still
I'm
on.
really excited for season 2. I have a
Do we have audio?
I know
going on?
what's
the channel?
going on,
Yeah.
but
I loved season 2. Season 2 definitely filled in a lot
I
of the
know.
gaps.
it did.
You brought up something earlier that we didn't really talk about was the Doom Patrol episode. One they had a different professor, well not a professor, the main scientist. That he was a
and
different dude.
in the next series, it becomes Timothy Dalton in the actual series.
Yeah.
But in this,
okay.
it was a put pilot. So the
Right.
put pilot was somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to watch Doom Patrol. I know I have not watched
I
it, so I
love
don't
it.
know where the show went, but I was not
Yeah,
in
it's
love
okay.
Watch it
with
after this because
Yeah,
it's
it's-
running right after this.
But Trey, hey, I wanted to follow up on your point with the Batman thing. That Batman season, that scene was awesome. And I was watching, I was like,
yes.
are these motherfuckers really gonna come to Wayne Manor in the Batcave and think they gonna be successful in procuring
I'm
Batman?
saying.
I'm like, what?
Right. Come on now. I don't even think they
Yo.
understood. They didn't
Yeah, I
even
was
understand
like,
what they were
aw.
like getting into.
And even when
Yo.
they had Starfire, I was like, she is not ready because Batman done already
brought up-
analyzed her.
brought
and
up the
don't
ice
know
gun.
what
Hey
it
guys.
is.
Hey guys.
Oh,
Give y'all heads up. We still live.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what
Hey,
we
but
just
you know
told
what? But
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts in that scene was when Dick calls Bruce and was like, "Yo, you still got some redemption. You didn't really kill the Joker. We need to connect." Next scene, Batman sitting in the sitting in the window sill. He's like, "Look what I did to your boy," and dipped.
You know it, right?
Not
So
sticking out the
deep,
Joker. I
so
was
deep.
like, "Oh,
Hey, since we have
Bruce,
people
don't
still
turn on
alive
me,
on
man.
here, before we go raid Jen, why don't we tell the people where they can find us at, guys? Courtney, you can start up. Where can they find you on your
Oh.
socials?
Cortney Scott Wright on Instagram. On Twitter, I am at Cortney S. Wright.
Yes. Syntell.
what you see on the screen, it says at Syntell, at Syntell, both on Twitter and on Instagram. Hit me up.
I'm Twitter. I think I'm Johnny J Purpose Driven Randolph at Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, same thing.
Yep. And I'm Charles Babb everywhere. You can find Charles Babb on anything. I make it easy for you. So they got our socials, but yeah, season 2 has me excited. I'm glad
me
you
too.
guys are excited about it too.
Might start doing something tonight.
Oh,
See, I'm on the East
Yeah,
Coast.
I'm ready
Yeah.
for it. I mean, I'm definitely gonna like watch it again so I can
Doesn't disappoint.
remember all the things because it doesn't disappoint. It comes with it. It comes hard, and we get new characters. We get understanding about like why people are the way they are. You know.
Yes.
The
That
first
has
season
me
was a
more
great
excited than
setup,
anything
right? It
else.
was a great setup, and I think they probably went back in, tweaked some things. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going.
It's like the Blues Brothers of shows. Like they're bringing the band together, and we're like,
right.
oh
they're
yeah,
putting the band together.
Oh, yeah,
they're-
we're bringing
they're
the band
building
together.
They're building the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, that's a good way. We're putting the band back together.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, we're putting the band back together, and it's a band that kind of existed because Donna, Hawk, and Don and Dick know each other.
Right.
They all know
So
each other.
obviously
I wish we
there's
would have
some
got more of the
history.
backstory of why they all broke up instead of the Don and Hawk thing.
Well, I think you might get
You
your
may
wish.
get that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you may get it.
okay.
See, they can't give you too much in season
Hold
1. Randy,
Okay.
Randy want to
No,
be greedy.
buckle up.
He's
It's gotta
like,
be a
can I
good
get some
one."
more candy yams?
I'm
I need
2
some more
plates in,
yams.
fam. I'm 2 plates in, fam.
But get some
I'm
ice
two
cream for that
plates in.
pie. You know what I mean?
There's more.
Right. Hey,
And then, hey, warm up those leftovers. you
Hey,
know?
my family, we do ribs,
do ribs
brisket,
Thanksgiving?
and turkey, and dressing and ham. So
And
yeah,
ham.
What
Love.
time is dinner
And
next
shrimp
year?
and jumbo
And
shrimp.
shrimp. We get
Do I need to bring my own
dressed.
plate
Yes.
next year?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
come
yeah. Oh,
through.
yeah.
Come through. So that's how I live, right? This is normal
It's
for
no
me.
joke.
Right?
It's no joke. We have an uncle that has like approximately 3 wives, and they all 3 in the kitchen cooking at the same time, and it's some of the best food you ever had.
Wait. 3 wives?
Kind of, sort of.
Well, they're not
it's a long
married
story.
Why you put
together
him on blast
They're
like
not
that?
married,
You put him in the
he has
ether.
children
You
between
put
all
all his
3 of
business
them.
out there.
He has children between all 3 of them.
They
and
all
they
get
cook
along. They all get along.
Okay.
Right? It's just
So
one
it's a big love.
blended.
It's a big love
Yeah.
situation. Okay.
Big
And then you
blended-
have all the other women in the family that try to outcook each other.
Yeah.
They all
What?
just come in and cook.
And all the
Yeah, I'm
kids
just
know
about
each
to
other,
let
and they're
Cyberpunk.
fine because they be like, he was a motherfucker boy when he was young.
Yeah, just who he
So-
was. Just who he was.
So Jen is streaming on Cyberpunk?
Okay.
Oh
Yep.
shoot, we get to watch Jen Cyberpunk, you
Yeah,
guys.
I'm about to
Okay.
jump
Everybody
on, I'm about to
jump on
Cyberpunk
Jen's
my damn
stream.
self.
So what?
All
Jen
right.
Zanny, jump on Jen Zanny's stream and show
How
some
was that
love to
spelled?
her.
Hold on. How is that spelled, Jen?
JenZany. Jen Zanny.
Got it.
Everybody jump on her stream. I'm really excited about watching this. I haven't bought the game. I probably won't buy the game until I finish
You gonna bite it?
Miles.
You gonna bite
Yeah,
the
bite it,
the
you know.
cover
You
on?
know.
Okay.
We spent the whole
Yep.
day talking about Dick Grayson.
Ooh, oh, okay, yeah.
Stop.
Because all you
I can't
want is
watch
dick.
You
this.
silly. You silly.
Ooh.
You
Ooh.
silly.
There we go. We rated her.
I
Look
mean,
at she dressed like Khaleesi. She came in full Khaleesi gear.
Girl, but